So I just literally woke up, and one of the things I'm gonna start doing, because I heard this girl says she does this, and it kind of helps like her mind. But I just had a dream. It was a very interesting dream, and I'm gonna start like just on this backup channel, whatever, just catalog my dreams and stuff like that, and try to get my mind right. But the dream was very interesting. Like it started off where like I was on some expedition team or something like that, right? And at first, I like I didn't have any pretense where we were going, but I remember us just coming up to this like island. It was like three ships, excuse me, three ships or whatever. And we were coming up to this island. There's like researchers and different types of people. It reminded me of what's that game? It reminded me of like that one game, or was it the movie? I think it was the game where you go to like King Kong Island or whatever. So all I know is that the island that we were going to was dangerous, and like as we came up, there was like an eerie feeling. There's like almost like a storm around it. Then the island got calm. But long story short, we pull up and we start setting up camp, right? We start setting up base camp. I remember there was like this general guy talking about how, we got to go inland and we got to be careful because, this island, it has rumors of monsters and different types of creatures. I remember it's like a small expedition team, and I was about to join them, but then this one girl called me over. And she was like, "Oh, come over here." And then we started talking. So I had to do like a makeshift science tent, There was like glass beakers and all types of stuff. And there was even like a little mini armory. I remember that was like an armory. It was like a see-through armory. And it was like, you see all these weapons on there. I was like, what the heck? You know what I mean? But anyway, this girl starts talking to me in a dream. We're talking. She's like, "Oh, you do me a favor, take this and put it put it into that old building there, because when we got there and set up camp, like on the like we set up camp on like this beach site area, right? But then there was like when you go inland, there was like overgrown like buildings, and like it used to be like human inhabitants that used to stay there, but then it's like they got overran or something like that, because like there's a bunch of like growth. It looked kind of like The Last of Us. Like the buildings look like The Last of Us, where it's like overgrown shrubs and trees and all that. But then a couple of buildings nearby the beach, we kind of like there was like people that kind of like people of our expedition force that kind of went in there and started making like their own little base, little outposts and stuff inside these extra abandoned buildings. And then I think there was like another camp that, I think it was like three different camps, and there was like another camp that was more deeper in for the expeditionary team. So there was like three like kind of separate little camps, but they're all connected and they're all within walking distance, right? So she's like, "Oh, can you take these supplies or something?" I remember that it was like it was like a white box which had like a biohazard like thing on it. She's like, "Oh, can you take this to the building, whatever." She said something, take it to somebody, I believe. It was either take it to the building and set it down, or take it to somebody, because I'm just, my mind's fragmented. You know how it is when you wake up from a dream and your mind starts to disintegrate. That's why I'm trying to think about it as fast as I can, just get the important things noted down. But anyway, I take this box and I start walking. I remember passing by like a little security, like security people like on the perimeter, and I kept walking there. I go to the little building or whatever. And as I'm going to the building, there's just some people in there, whatever. And I go to a part of the building where there's like no people, because it seemed like they only got the first floor covered. I remember putting the box down, and just me being curious, I went upstairs and I started just looking at this like different areas, and I see like remnants of people that used to live there. And then I remember I go up to this bookshelf. It was like one of those rooms. Like it was just a random room, like there's no way I could tell that this was even the right way to go. So I go into like this random room, and like it's like imagine the hallway like an apartment building, because I think it was kind of like an apartment building, right? And so I go on like the third like the third room on the right, like as you get up the stairs or whatever. Like once you get up the stairs, it's like doors on the right and the left. So I go on the third door on the right just randomly. And at first it was kind of like like a little bit. It wasn't like locked, but it was like stuck. I kind of pushed my shoulder on it and it opened up. I remember seeing cobwebs and what the heck, And at the time, this was like daytime, right? So it was kind of dark, but then you could see like light beaming in. And so I go look, and I'm just looking around the room. I see the remnants. I see like a little girl's teddy bear or a kid's teddy bear. I see like a guitar. I see an old piano. I see like different things. I'm like, what the heck? And I looked behind this little poster and I see like a door there. And then I kind of cracked it open a bit, because it was hard to get open. But like no, no, no. It was a bookshelf in front of it, and then behind the bookshelf there was a poster. I thought that was just odd that they would cover up the poster. So I kind of moved the bookshelf a little bit, and the poster, I kind of peeled back the poster. It was like a door handle. So I slowly opened the door handle and I looked. And it was like a small little elevator. I'm like, what the hell, you know? And then I heard like commotion outside or whatever. Like some people were like screaming, like, "Oh my God, those things!" Blah 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 blah. Like they were talking about that. Like what? So I kind of run down the stairs quickly, kind of peek outside to see what's going on. And in the distance, I see like these. I don't know how to describe it. Like they look like giants. And that's the best way I can describe it. But it looks like kind of like the Attack on Titan type giants, but the abnormal. The abnormal ones, the weird giants that kind of like just act weird, but they were kind of slowly walking, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, we got to get out of here before they come." Blah 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 blah. And I remember like, what the hell? And then like, I guess one jump, like I heard a boom, like a rumble like that. Like, this is crazy, right? This is my dream, bro. I heard like a boom rumble, and then I look like, and there was like a big one like right in the middle of like camp, and people were running, screaming, people were getting to their boats. And then I remember like you see some of the giants picking up trees and throwing them at the boats, and I was like, oh shit. So my immediate mind was like, fuck it. So for some reason I ran it's back in the building, ran upstairs, and I went to that little door, or yeah, the little door behind the bookshelf behind the poster, and like it was like a old school elevator. It's the best way I can describe it. And I was thinking, I don't know, I guess dream logic. I was thinking, okay, let me go in there. Like, surprised the elevator can still work or function. So I go in this little elevator, and I'm kidding you not, it's a small elevator. There's a little bit of there's a little rust on the floor, rust around the door. I go inside there, I just press the button, and then it takes me down, like I guess deep, you know, and it takes me like it just takes me down deep, and I think I had like a little radio. I remember I was like, "Oh my God!" I heard gunfire. Oh my God, we're getting overrun! Oh, what the hell? Yeah, we can't fight them all like that, And then as I'm going down, boom, it stops, and the elevator opens up again, and like, or no, yeah, I'm going down, then the elevator opens up, and then I open the door, and then I look, and I'm just inside some random room, like another abandoned room or whatever. And I'm like, I slowly peek around, and then this time there's no light outside or nothing. Like there's no windows at all. So we're kind of deep underground, I guess. That's what I'm assuming. And so I look around, I'm like, huh. And then I open up the main door of that little room. And I look around that room, and it just had a couple of beds. You know what I mean? Like I remember it was like a refrigerator that was cracked open. I remember there was like nothing in there, and so it was like somebody else's room, And after I went down this first elevator, and then I go into the hallway. I peek in the hallway. I look around. It's kind of dark, and then I noticed that the hallway has like emergency lights still on. What the hell? But it looked abandoned. So it kind of looked like the first area, like apartment hallway, and there was like stairs going down, stairs going up, but I didn't even bother with those. I just kind of like kept walking down the hallway, and then like I went to another door, like I don't know, it's like a dream. Just randomly, I went into another room, like another apartment room. I go in that one, I kind of look around, and then my mind now, I understand that there's a secret little elevator door, so I start just searching, and then I find another little elevator like door, but this time it was kind of hidden, like it was hidden like right by like the window or whatever. But it was like a little closet next to like not a window. What's that window? Not a window. It was like you see ever seen those apartments where there's like it's like a cutout, like where the kitchen is at, where you like it's like almost like a little mini bar, like where the kitchen is at, so you can like sit down, and then like if somebody's cooking like eggs or something, they can kind of just hand you a plate over, and you can just sit down and eat. But almost like it's like a window, but it's really not. It's like a long rectangle little cutout thing. It was like one of those. Like a closet right next to that, and right next to there, like I opened it, and then boom, was another little elevator. So I went down that one, and then the third time it came to like another underground apartment facility. This time the room was a little bit larger, and I was looking around like, what the hell? And I remember opening up that door and looking around, and And I remember like doing the exact same thing. Like I walk down this hallway. This time I go down the stairs. Like there's like stair. Like the last one I didn't even have to leave the floor. But this time I go down, like a little still like a little spiral staircase, and it leads to like it led to like another like apartment long hallway or whatever. So and just like the last couple of times, I walk and I go into a random room, and then this time like I'm just like and now I kind of got it. Like, okay, there's like secret doors, the secret elevators in these little rooms. So I go to like I find this one like kind of by like the little like by the bathroom, but it's like those bathrooms that have like a room like a room connected to them, right? And it was like, and like, okay, so you have the bathroom, like a room connected to it, but it's like sometimes they have like a little mini space. Like you open up your door and then it's like a little bit of like a little walkway, and then boom, there's the bathroom. And some places just have, you open up the door and the bathroom's right there. But this one had like a little mini hallway. And then that mini hallway, there was a door. So I go in there, and the elevator again, same thing. And each time the elevator gets more old looking. That's what I remember. Then I go down this one, boom, then I remember like it took a long time. Even in a dream, it felt like it was long. And then it finally stops, and then it opens up, and then I'm in some type of, I kid you not, it looked like a Resident Evil biolab. That's what it reminded me of. Even in a dream, it kind of reminded me of something that I've seen, but I never seen before in real life, right? Like I remember when I got off the elevator, like to the right, there was it was like some machine. It looked like those machines at the airport that check people's like check people's belongings and stuff like that. They had one of those. I seen people's like stuff still in there, like old shoes and stuff. There's like scattered papers, and then like to the left there's like a long little hallway or whatever. And I remember going through there, and there's like holographic projections on the screen. There's no one in there, Then I go in that long little hallway. Then I bank a right. Then there's like there's like a shorter hallway, and I remember walking through that one. There's like a glass, it was like glass windows on both sides, and on the right I seen like it was it was showing like security feed like in different part like what's going on. So I seen like on the background, I seen like these giants and these things tearing up the expedition force and the team, Then I was like, what the fuck? Then I'm walking through like this little bio corridor. I turned to like, there comes like a little split. It's like a right side and a left side. And the right side seemed like it went deeper into the facility or whatever. And it was just weird. And then like the left side was like a little security door. And I remember the computer was like, it was like, because it was like an AI computer came on, and it was like, who are you? Blah 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 blah. State blah blah. It's like the bioscan. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be some, you know what I mean? It's like bioscan. It's like, it's like unknown life form. You know what I mean? Like that. And the bioscan means like, human. I'm like, what the hell? And then it was like verified. Welcome to blah 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 blah. I'm like, huh? I'm like, how the hell did it was just weird. And I was like, computer. I was like, I told the computer, I said, computer, turn the power off on all doors in this sector. So I remember just saying like that. And then like, as I said that, there was like a door in front of me that was kind of like, it was like a big door. It's kind of like cracked open. I remember walking in there, and then it closed behind me, and then the power turned on. But I remember it was like a security room. And from there, I could watch all the things going on around the island. It was like hidden cameras around the island from the beach, even parts we haven't been through yet on the island. It's like hidden cameras, like embedded high up in the trees and stuff. Some on the ground level, and it was showing these giants and these monsters. And then this room, I seen like it had like these these buttons, and it had like different types of like pictures of like these giants or whatever. And then like a computer came on, like a holographic screen, and it was showing me different types of giants and this, that, and the third. And it was talking about and then the AI was like, "Do you want to make one?" I'm like, huh? It was like, yeah. She's like, yeah. The AI was like, yeah, this facility is for making giants. Blah blah blah. I'm like, huh? That was weird. And then like so at first I was like, what the hell? And then so I got up, and I told the computer to unlock the power to the doors. And then I went to that other side, where I first made that little junction from the right to the left over there. I went to that side, and then I remember going through like this little hallway or whatever, and then like it opened up, and it looked like an airport like lobby. It was like big, it was vast, there's all these chairs everywhere. It's like an airport lobby. And I remember like, so this must be another way. This must be another way you can get in here besides the little elevator area that I came from or whatever. That opened up to this lab. And I remember, and it was kind of dark, but there was like lights on. It wouldn't have been no problem if I had like a doom, a doom weapon or something. But still, it was interesting. But eventually, I went back into that other room. Oh, when I went into that lobby like an airport, I seen like a main control room too, but it was like high up. I remember looking at that must have been a control room because it was so high up and it was bright, and then it had all these holographic screens and projections. But anyway, I went back to that little security room when I seen all these holograms of giants, and it was like. And then the computer was all you do is just press a button and tell me just press a button, but tell me how high do you want the giant, this, that, and the third. In long story short, like I pressed the button, it was like literally creating giants, but the giants would like come out on like on the other side of the. I guess it was like another part of the island where they take the DNA and then they make it and they mix it and then they make giants. So all I had to do was just press a button and tell the computer what I wanted, and then boom, we'll make a giant on another part of the island. And then it was crazy because it was something that I read in a CIA document years ago called cerebral radio hypnotic control. That's when you get to control the minds of things, from a distance, right? Through certain frequencies, through utilizing and integrating certain frequencies. And pretty much that's what I was doing because like you couldn't control the giants the other way. So I remember pressing like buttons and then the giants would obey my commands and so, and not just the ones I made, even the other ones. And then I got the idea. I was like, because eventually I told the giants to stop attacking the people. And then like on the security feed, like, what the hell, they're not attacking us no more. Oh my God, what, they're not attacking, they're just standing there. We gotta get the hell out of here, blah, 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 And it was interesting. Then I remember I started to make this super giant. It's like how big do you want this? How big do you want? It's like 1,000 feet. And she was like, like that. Like, it's crazy. And then like right when I was creating that giant, I heard something coming in like the lab, and then I'm like, what the hell? And I remember like grabbing like some type of plasma pistol or something like that. And I kind of said, unlock the door. And I looked down the hallway and I aimed, and it was one of my friends that I haven't seen in a very long time, and was actually an evil friend, was somebody that betrayed me and even planned to, do bad, like just somebody who we're not friends anymore. We can never be friends because that person's very evil. Let's just keep it at that. And I'm like, what the hell? Then they say what's up to me. And I'm like, huh? Like, how'd you get down here? And they're like, oh yeah, woo. I'm like, huh? They said something, I forgot, but I'm like, what the hell does this mean? And I remember they started going to like the area I just left with the create giants, and I just told them, I told the security, lock it down, don't let them in. And he's like, what the hell, man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what are you doing? How do you get here? And then I remember like walking back to that the airport lounge area and looking up at the control center. I remember like heading there, and then I remember seeing like people all of a sudden come like from like an abandoned hallway. It was like people, and they're like kind of like running. They're like, oh my God, we gotta, and I'm like, huh? Like there's people down here, it was weird. And then after that, I woke up. So make with that what you will. Like there's like more details. I'll try to get the main details, but that's the dream I just had. Like my mind is so crazy, bro. It was just weird. Like what the fuck? Like some of my dreams be like their own adventures at times, and most of the time I don't think about it. I just forget about it. I don't think about it again. But this time I had to just like I want to start recording my dreams. My old channel, I used to like record my dreams periodically. I would have so many interesting dreams. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Peace.